We're resuming where we left off yesterday. We finished up with this one on the far right here yesterday afternoon. We transferred them from their big hive into this small nuke, and we checked that the queen was laying. So we were going to continue with these, but we got a little bit of robbing here in the back garden. So I aborted mission and I said we'll resume this afternoon. We've got some lovely weather now. We've got a bit of blue sky. It's a little bit overcast here and there. It's a bit patchy, but the weather's nice. It's warm. You can see the bees are working nicely. Everything's looking good. There is still a couple of bees around that are looking like they are trying to rob these colonies, but these little small colonies are managing to fight them off. You can see them around the entrance here. They're sitting quite tight up to protect their entrance. This is a really small swarm. They're sitting right in the back corner here. So I just put in one frame of bees into this box with a virgin queen. We put her in, it's 12 days ago now. So she should be laying now. With them only being a few bees or a small bunch of bees, we might not see a really big brood pattern, but I'm hoping to at least see that the queen is laying. Let's begin. You can notice I've even left a space here because they are just such a small bunch of bees. Their cluster is literally just covering this frame here. They've started on this foundation. I noticed when the sheet of foundation when I put the queen in the cage in here, I did see that they were starting to draw this out. With giving them some extra syrup, it just helps encourage them just to build a bit of comb as well. So again, this is just a frame of bees and brood that I put in here just to be able to use up one of the extra virgin queens that we had. So the swarm won't survive like this. This is just to get the queen mated, and then we'll be manipulating them to just or giving them some extra brood and bees just to help build them up. But I'm just looking for now to see if the queen is mated and laying, and then we will begin expanding this little nuke and just seeing how we can help them. There's some nice pollen here. They're bringing in lots of pollen. I don't like what I'm seeing here. This looks to me like laying workers. There's our queen though. It's quite a small queen. I knew she was a bit of a smaller queen when I put her in here, but I just wanted to use her up. So yeah, I'm not convinced that is normal brood. We might have a drone laying queen in here. Just going to have a look at the other frame where they've got where they've started to draw out the foundation, and just see if there's any other bits of brood on there. No, there isn't. So you can see they've started to draw it out nicely there. But yeah, I'm not too optimistic about that. The queen is still here, so she might be mated. Now it's really, what I'm looking at is you can see the height of this cell here, how it's standing out the comb, and that to me is when you've got either a drone laying queen or you've got workers that are laying, because that's drone larvae. When they raise the cells like that to accommodate the size of the larva, then you know that it's normally drone larva, and that will be either from laying workers or it'll be from a drone laying queen. The drone laying queen will mean that we've they've got a queen that never got mated successfully. But because I still see her, and here she is, I'm going to give them a little bit more time before I take any measures to the swarm or to this little colony. I'm just going to give them a bit more time and see what happens. So I'm just going to leave them just as they are, and then I'll monitor them. I'll give them another couple of days, and we'll just have a look at that brood again. If I'm still not happy with the way that this queen is laying, I might just look at uniting them with another swarm and possibly getting rid of that queen. Just close them up. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're on to the last little nuke here now that we're checking for mated laying queen. Queen was also introduced at the same time as the others, putting us at about 12 days ago. This is a bit of a bigger swarm in this colony, so there's quite a few more bees. They were a good 3-4 frame swarm or colony to start with. So yeah, let's have a look. What we should find is if the queen starts laying, she should start to lay a bigger pattern, because there's a lot more nurse bees. There was some good brood in this one as well when we set them up. So hopefully she's mated and laying well, and she should start to have a really nice brood pattern. Let's have a look. One thing I must point out here is I had blocked off the one side here. You'll see the small little entrance in the middle, which is actually a hole used for feeding. But I blocked off the one entrance here on the left hand side of the box on our right, but the bees eventually removed that foam. So I've left them. They obviously felt that they needed it. When they start working in the day, they really get going. They are definitely a stronger little colony, so I'm happy with them having that extra space. Notice I give them quite a bit more smoke, and I just give them a chance. Again, it's a stronger colony, there's a lot more bees, so I just want them all to know that I'm coming. Lots of good nectar. Drone. Still some drone brood left to hatch out in the corner here. But other than that, most of the brood is hatched out. There's still a couple of cells in between here that the bees are still emerging from. I'm not seeing any new signs of brood in here. Lots of nectar, a bit of honey coming in, and lots of pollen. But I'm not seeing brood in here either. So I'm going to try and see if I can see the queen now. Otherwise, we might have lost this queen. I did get to see this queen go out on her orientation flight about a week ago, but that doesn't mean that she made it back after mating. It's not completely uncommon to lose them. Unfortunately, it does happen. Let's just see if we can find her in the box. I don't see her. But then again, with this amount of bees, we can end up missing her, so I might just close them up and check them again another day. At this stage, I don't normally just rule it out. I'll give them a couple of days extra. We're sitting on just on 2 weeks now. I'll give them another 3 or 4 days before I start to rule them as queenless. Just looking for our queen. She's not on there. Let's check on the frames that I've already removed. Might have missed her. Okay, I'm actually mistaken. There are eggs in here. I just didn't look properly. But inside these cells is full of eggs. I just wasn't looking properly, so she's got to be here somewhere. I just don't see her now, but this is all laid up nicely with eggs in here. I don't think the camera is going to pick it up because it's really dark, this comb, and it's a bit difficult to see them. But notice the good pollen. There's really good food coming in. So if we continue to supplement her with some syrup, it'll just stimulate the queen to lay, and this one will be able to lay up a good few frames before we need to even think about winter for them, so that's going to be good. But yeah, there's eggs on this side as well, so I just missed it when I was looking earlier. I don't see our queen though, but there again, there are a lot of bees in here, and they're quite runny, so I might have just missed it today. It does happen. Okay, I'm really glad to see that there are eggs. It means our queen is here somewhere. So a lot of bees on here. She could very well be in here. I don't like keeping them open for so long either because of these bees that are around that are wanting to rob. But this swarm is quite strong, so they will be able to defend themselves as soon as I put them back together. Yeah, lots of bees here. So my guess is I might have missed her. She might well be in here somewhere. I'm not gonna look too much longer here. I don't find her. Ah, she's right here on the foundation. I'm looking right past her. So here she is. It's going into that cluster there. She's running there now on the side. So she's in here. It's good to see. She's sitting right here now. So I don't like to put the frame back in when I know she's here. So I'm going to try and coax her just into the middle of the frame. Then I'm going to go and put her in quite quickly. Just going through that side. Right. I'll just pull this other frame out of the way so that I can get all these bees back in, because we know she's there now. and we know that she's laying, so this little swarm is going to start to do quite well. We've got lots of bees, so this little colony will really start to pick up nicely now. Important to be very gentle when you're working with them like this. I just slide the frame in slowly so that they get a chance to move out the way. You don't want to squash too many unnecessarily. And I almost just let the weight of the frame take itself down, just with a bit of a push there. Okay, that's it. Let's close them up. We've disturbed them enough, but we've got a good laying queen there. I'm really happy to see that. So that's good to see. We'll just keep topping up the feeder now next couple of weeks, and the amount of pollen that they're bringing in, bit of extra syrup. There is nectar coming in as well, but the extra bit of syrup will just stimulate brood production in the hive. The more you feed the bees, the more they feed the queen, which stimulates the brood production. So I anticipate them to fill a good couple of frames of brood, and then it's a full 21-day cycle before that brood will start to hatch, and then the swarm will start to build up quite nicely just before our winter time. What I want to show you here is as we're finishing up with these bees, I've noticed that we've got this robbing again, and this time around I've left no frames out. There's no syrup that's leaking, there's nothing, but there's a lot of aggression on these little boxes. You'll notice especially on this little swarm here that's it's just a bit of a smaller swarm, and you can see all the bees are sitting here in the front. Now what I'm guessing has happened is when I put the feeder back on top, some of the syrup has run down. It's also one of the reasons why I plug the entrances with sponge. You can see how the bees are sitting on that sponge, sucking that syrup through there. So there we go, you can see how they're sitting on the sponge here, sipping that syrup off. Yeah, it's just sparking these bees to come in and start to rob a little bit. There's some really nice pollen coming in, but these bees are battling now because they are quite a small swarm. There's a lot of bees that are trying to get in and rob them here. That's why we've reduced them right to the small little entrance over here on the side, so that they can at least just protect their home against this. This is one of the disadvantages of the feeders that I use. Using these top feeders like this, sometimes you do get some syrup that just leaks down and it causes a bit of a problem, especially on your smaller swarms like this. The stronger swarms like this one next to it, they're fine, they're protecting the entrance. You can see the guard bees are out, but they're managing to protect their entrance without any aggression or anything going on there. So it's just something to be cautious of. Just when you are working with smaller colonies, just keep in mind that you want to try and avoid getting them robbed out.